Hi, and welcome to Family Teacher Teams Part 4. Today we'll be talking about the implementation of Family Teacher Teams on the day of the event. Just a quick reminder, there are 3 other trainings before this that go over the introduction of the FACE office, as well as looking at some past successes and data. And then the presentation just before this, part 3, goes over the prep and plan. So if you're planning on implementing a family teacher teams, either in your classroom or at your school, I do suggest going back to look at part 3 so that you can understand the prepping and planning so that this presentation and training makes a little more sense. And just a reminder as well, there are resources at the end of this presentation that I will refer to throughout the presentation. So again, welcome. This is part 4 of Family Teacher Teams. Thank you for coming. To start with, I just want to introduce our team. So my name is Addie Lee. I'm the assistant principal at Meridian Elementary School. I have been working with the FACE office on Family Teacher Teams for a few years now, especially this year after kind of reinventing and revamping the Family Teacher Teams at our site. We also have Mike Serban. He's the director of the FACE office. Sandra Candler, she is the supervisor of the FACE office and the community liaisons. Janice Raymond is a facilitator and retired teacher with the FACE office, wonderful resource. And then Jana Leonard, she is the data and assessment facilitator. So again, these are all people that you can reach out to with questions or concerns or any clarification that you need about family teacher teams or the FACE office specifically. And today, again, we'll be talking about implementing family teacher teams. So the goal for this training is really the how of family teacher teams. In the previous trainings and presentations, we talk a lot about the why. Today is more about the how. To implement on the day of at a school or even specifically in a classroom. Okay. And then at the very end, you're going to have a bunch of resources that you can utilize to prepare for the day of for your family teacher teams. And just a reminder, throughout the trainings, you will see the promises at the bottom of the slides. This is just a way for us to connect back to our mission and vision and connect back to what our 8 promises are to our families, to our students, and to our staff members. So that's why you will see them on some of the slides throughout the presentation. So again, today we're talking about the how. We're going to talk a little bit about the how for administrators or more staff, and then the how for teachers specifically. So on the day of, for administrators or the family teacher team committee, we really want to make sure that we are welcoming families in as they come to school. It is extremely important that the relationships are being built at the school with not only the teachers, but also any support staff, administrators, facilitators, anyone on campus that is working with, and I mean, everyone on campus is working with and supporting students. So it's really important that we are all there to welcome families as they come on to campus for the family teacher teams. Another part of this is making sure that you're data tracking for participation. So if that's something that you choose to do at a administration level, you can collect data then, or at the teacher level, they can collect data about who is at the family teacher teams as well. If you have invited stakeholders, you can welcome your stakeholders that are coming to school to participate in the family teacher teams. There is an example of this in the resources, but an informational flyer about what classrooms are doing the family teacher teams for that day and what they might see and hear in the classrooms is a nice way to welcome them onto your campus for family teacher teams. Of course, dropping into classrooms to support and engage with families is an essential part of building the relationships with the families on your campus. And then checking in the previous presentation training, we talked about planning for babysitters or people that are supporting siblings or other students. So making sure to check in with them and making sure that they are scheduled for a time to take students out, making sure they have a space to be that day, and just kind of making sure everything is buttoned up for the people that are supporting either siblings or students during the day. This is an example of a welcome letter. These were provided to any stakeholders or community members that joined us that day. So you can see that we talked about what classrooms were participating for that day and what promise we were really fulfilling for that day and where they could watch our daily broadcast. So this is just an example of something you might give to a stakeholder or a community member that's coming to campus for your family teacher teams. So for the teachers on the day of, a lot of this was discussed in the previous presentation, like I said, because the prep and plan is where you get a lot of the meat of this. But thinking about the day of, here at Meridian, we do a daily broadcast. If it's something that you do over the loudspeaker or how you're going to welcome families, we've found it to be very, very important to us to welcome families in different languages. So that was something we thought about and tried to work towards. You're going to want to have a presentation ready for your families that has an agenda and basically an outline for the day, and you can walk through that presentation with your families. You're going to have a family connection time. So that's a harmony circle with a parent introduction and a question. You're going to do a buddy up, or you can do a buddy up, families getting to know each other. And then you're also going to make sure that they understand that you're creating a team and building relationships in order to help support their children, our students, to be successful and have as much academic and social growth as we can. You will be sharing a data point with the family. So you're going to present the data to the parents. This could be iReady data. It could also be iReady data plus another data point like letter sounds, sight words, or Lexile levels. And you're going to discuss with the families about the impact that this has on the rest of the school year. After they've seen the data point, the next step would be goal setting with the families. So you're going to be talking about how you can help them set goals for their home activities with their students and thinking about what are some things that they can implement at home. And you want to take into consideration the home activity that you'll be providing for your families. So you're going to want to prepare a resource for them to take home. And we want to make sure that we are not giving them too much. We want to hone in on one activity that they can work on at home when they are supporting their students academically at home. And then at the end of the family teacher teams, it's a fun way to connect the parents back to their children, but they can try on that activity, practice the game, practice reading with comprehension questions, whatever the home activity is. It's a fun way to wrap up the day, is to bring the parents back together with their children so that they can try on the home activity. So this is kind of what the day would look like for teachers and things to think about when you are implementing the family teacher teams on your day. So this is just a sample of our welcome video that we shared with our families. So I'll play this for you now.
Welcome to Meridian.
Welcome to Meridian Family Teacher Teams. We're so happy you're here.
We're so happy you're here.
Good morning. Welcome to Meridian. We're so glad to have you.
مرحبا بكم في Meridian. احنا مكيفين انتوا هنا.
Bienvenidos a Meridian. Estamos tan feliz que están aquí ahora.
السلام عليكم زمان وكيانا ومن قدير في الشالية تتصل سر Meridian كده. السلام عليكم بفرمائي Meridian. Susa Boston Houghton Vida, we're meeting all day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to Meridian.
When we created this video, we really wanted to make sure that all of our families felt welcome and part of our community here on campus. And this was a big part of our push of opening the doors for our families to come in and feel like they're a part of our team here and build relationships with us. And this welcome can be done in many different ways. It can be written, it can be over the loudspeaker, but we found that families really reacted well to this because we tried to incorporate as many languages as we could that we had on campus with our students and our staff. So this is something you might want to think about for the day of. This is an example of the goal sheet that you would utilize for your family teacher team's time. Once you've gone over the data, this is what the goal sheet will look like. I do want to mention that the print shop has these already built out, and I believe that they can just change the heading on this and make it fit your school, your logo, your classroom, whatever you would like to do with this. These goal sheets are a great way for you to track because we have them in triplicate. So it's a really essential part to remember to send home the top white part with the parent, and then you keep the triplicate so that you guys can check back in. A lot of teachers checked back in at conferences and said, hey, how's this going? They pulled it back out. They looked at it together and said, you know, you made a goal of X, Y, and Z. How's that going at home? How can I support you in that? So I just wanted to share a goal, an example of the goal sheet with you. And then these are some example goals that you might set with your families. And most of our teachers actually had these in their presentation so that when parents said, oh, I don't know what my goal should be, or this is what my child is showing in their data, what do you think would be an appropriate goal? So these are just some ideas of examples that you can give to your families. And this is a primary example with letter sounds, but you can think about how to adapt it for your grade level. And again, this was a shorter presentation because a lot of the information is in the prep and plan. So that's a longer, more meaty presentation. So again, if you're interested in more of the beforehand, you can go back to the family teacher teams part 3. But today, this is part 4 for the day of, and these are some of the resources that you can utilize to prepare for the day of and use on the day of. Thank you again for coming. I'm really excited. I just want to remind everyone at the end of each of these that all of us are resources for you. We are happy to be part of your family teacher team's journey, whether it's in the classroom or at a school site. And please do not hesitate to reach out and utilize us for resources, to bounce ideas off, anything that you might need. So thank you again. And part 5 will be about collecting data and how we can use data in the future. So thank you.